In this section of group norms, let's start off with appreciating what group experience is about. Group experience has got two major components, the content and the process. The content refers to the what of the group, whereas the process refers to the how of the group. The what of the group refers to the content that's been talked about, the narratives, the discussion themes, as well as the group format. So what constitutes the group format? It includes the duration, such as a 90-minute group, having any breakout room discussions, the membership type, if it's an open or closed group membership, as well as the group size. Say, for example, it can vary up from 6 to 15. And let's move on to talk a little bit more about group process. Group process will be what is actually happening within the group itself. Essentially, it refers to the group dynamics. It includes the group norms, the group task, the change mechanism of the groups, which I mentioned, the therapeutic group factors, maintaining boundaries of the group, such as how do we set limits, how do we navigate sensitive topics, as well as stages of group development. If we were to use a metaphor to describe the group experience, the ingredients are like the group content, whereas the group process would be how we want to process the ingredients. Whether do you want to pan fry it, stir fry it, air fry it. If we are really cognizant of the group process and how we process the content, we can really bring out the flavors, the umami of the group content, which then makes a really effective group process and group experience for the group members. Let's proceed to talk about group norms. That's the first thing that we're going to talk about in terms of group processes. Group norms define what's acceptable behavior in the group, informal group rules, as well as the culture of the group. A lot of times, group norms are not explicitly written or spoken. So in a very organic group norms are not quite talked about. However, in support groups, it's our role as group facilitators to really verbalize group norms to the best of our abilities so that group members can really appreciate and understand them and navigate how they want to behave in the group. Because there's not enough time for group members to organically understand and manifest the group norms. So on screen, we have a sample of 5 group agreements taken from calm circles. What's really important for group leaders and facilitators is to go through these group agreements so that it set up a space that is safe and non-judgmental for the group members. So group norms go way beyond just group agreements. It's essentially how the group interact with each other. A lot of times, when group starts, it looks like this, whereby group members respond directly to the group leaders most of the time, as well as the group leaders prompt the group members most of the time. However, ideally, we should actually move the group to develop to such as this, the next image, whereby everyone feels empowered to interact with each other without having the group leader to always be prompting. Just like how in a one-to-one setting, your role is to empower the other person to find their internal resources, and we would do the same in the group setting as well. There are 3 different ways to use a group, and this might help you appreciate how group norms can happen. So the first way would be the group can be used as an object, whereby the group is an entity on its own. It's an object whereby the group leader addresses the group as a whole thing. So this happens when you talk about the group task, the group agreement. However, what's really important for us to know is a common mistake as a beginner facilitator that the group facilitator just use the group solely as an object the entire time. So the group leader just keep talking and talking and talking, taking up too much space without ideally having the group to be used as an agent. So let me tell you a little bit more about using group as an agent. Using group as an agent really is having the group members to interact with each other, whereby each group member has an equal standing to talk about what they want to talk about and resonate with each other. This is really where the magic of group begins. It's the healing property of groups. And the third way to use group would be using group as a setting. In my personal belief, this is not an ideal way to use groups in a peer support group setting because it becomes like a counseling session for one particular group member at a time, potentially making group members feeling like they're in a therapy session, which is definitely not supposed to be the case. The best way moving forward is to help everyone understand the group agreements and embody them, using group as an agent, as well as the group facilitator guiding the group to act in this way. Let's get cracking on the group task for group members. This is a really important element for group norms because then the group members know how to interact with each other within the group. And when they know how to do so, they can then maximize the time and space to seek and to give support. Some of the group tasks for group members include to seek support, so that will mean to share, to lend support to each other through listening and resonating, definitely to share at their comfortable pace, and to be curious about themselves and others, as well as to put all their thoughts and feelings into words. It's so important for us to emphasize that all thoughts and feelings are welcome in the circle. And then we'll move on to talk a little bit more about the group tasks for group facilitators. As group facilitators, what do we need to do? We need to set, maintain, and embody the group agreements. To definitely also enable the group to function as an agent, whereby the group participants and the group members are interacting with each other more so than just addressing towards us. It's important for us to encourage engagement, self-disclosure, and sharing between the group participants. And if there is any, to mitigate any conflicts if it goes out of hand. To definitely also look out for relevant group therapeutic factors, known as the change mechanisms of group, and also to surface them during discussions, highlighting them to the group members when it happens. We should also ask some questions to elicit some of these therapeutic group factors. And what are these therapeutic group factors? Allow me to talk about them in a moment. There's a saying in groups saying that good fences make good neighbors. When fences are well established, it's clear, it's visible. Then our neighbors, in this case, for groups, would be group members, would know how to navigate around that area. It's unlikely that if the fences are visible and clear, they will step into boundaries that are off charter. So with good boundaries and fences, they will know what's appropriate, what is safe enough to act and share in the group. In summary about group norms, the key takeaway for us is to have clearly articulated group agreements, using the group as an agent, having clear group tasks for both group members and group facilitators. As group facilitator, our function is almost like a security guard, because if you can clearly navigate around what the group experience will be like, people will feel safe and assured with almost a predictable group culture that's not too rigid.